Hello. Welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy. And today it is April 30th. Happy end of April. Oh boy. I'm here to start week 18 of 2023. So, it is just after 11:30 and the Avalanche have officially been knocked out of the playoffs. So this is the last time I will be wearing a jersey until pregame start in mid to late September. So I'm sad it's over. I really wanted my boys to win back-to-back cup champions, but it hardly ever happens because it really is hard. And they lost another player after a horrendous hit that happened on Saturday night's game. It was a bad hit. It looked horrible. The Seattle Kraken person that hit our guy Cogliano. Well, he was not. He was given a penalty in game, but there wasn't a hearing. He wasn't fined. He wasn't suspended. And what happened? Poor Cogliano broke his neck. C5 vertebrae, I think is what they said, is broken. And yet there's no repercussions from Department of Player Safety. And this is why I really went off last week or whenever I did about how inconsistent and just a joke that they are. When we actually have a very horrendous potentially life-altering injury happen, and there are no repercussions, no protection for the players that are hit in the back while they are defenseless, in the numbers, rammed headfirst into the boards. But you know what? I love my boys, and I will root for my boys, and as you could kind of see the writing on the wall, though. Even though Game 6 was really great, the series, they just weren't playing Avalanche hockey for 90% of it. And it's disappointing, but that's okay. They won't have a short summer. They won't have a short rest going into next season. Obviously get a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it is, less than some of the other teams who didn't even make the playoffs, but they made the playoffs. And at the All-Star break, they weren't even in the picture. And they came back to win the Central. So, I'm still proud of this team. I'm very nervous because a couple of my favorite players are UFAs. They're free agents. I don't know if they're going to sign my favorite player, Eric Johnson. I don't know if he's going to retire. So yeah, now starts the off season, so we'll see what happens. I may or may not keep watching hockey. I might just throw it on if I have nothing else to do, but it'd be more background noise. I won't be actively watching it like I do when my boys play. I love hockey, but I love my boys, and I will watch other games, but I won't get as invested in it. But hey, good luck, Seattle. Maybe you'll be able to do what the Vegas Golden Knights couldn't. Although that was their first year and this is their second year, but still. Okay, so let's talk about books. So Friday night, I did mention in last week's vlog, I'll pop it up here. Last week started the Novellathon, so if you have not seen anything about the Novellathon, I did a TBR, I'll link that up above. And then I also did a dedicated reading log for novellas I picked up specifically for the Novellathon. I'll also link that up above. Lots of links going on here. So Friday night, when I was in bed after the Avalanche game, I finished the final novella, the final book I have to read in Throne of Glass. That's 0.5, the prequel novella, and that is The Assassin in the Empire. I'm giving it 4 stars. I talk about it in the novella vlog, like I said, but I mean, long story short, I just want to reread the whole series. I was kind of planning in the month of May to pick up either Tower of Dawn, because I wanted to reread Tower of Dawn and Kingdom of Ash, but now I kind of want to reread it all. So I don't know, man. It was, I hate Erebin. But it was, man. All right. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it because I already talked about it during my Novellathon vlog. So as for the reading challenges that I was able to apply it to, for Gildathon, I used it for Eternal Flame, which is a book. One of the options is a character is dealing with grief or loss. And this is the one where Sam dies. For a pretty princess, I had to apply this to my bonus challenges, and I applied it for the letter T. For Read the Season, I had to shift this to holiday number 5, and this applied for the letter M for Moss. And for the Magical Readathon, because I read it during this month, I went ahead and just applied it to an extra class, and I did Lore, which is a book that has a map, and this series has some pretty gorgeous maps. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna set that over there, and then we will move on. So that was Friday night. Now Saturday, I plan to read more novellas for the Novellathon, but as you can see, boxes have shifted. Boxes have changed. Things happened. It didn't take me till middle of the day, but I was like, I gotta do something. I was in the mood to get stuff done, so I started working on stuff. Then I kind of hit a lull where I was super overwhelmed, and then I got back into it. And I was just like, nope, I gotta at least finish what I had started. And then I was like, once I was in it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish. So officially, I have finished my first, I guess, run through of going through all of the boxes. So probably half the boxes I have left are holiday, most of that Christmas stuff. But then I've got like collectible stuff. I've got a couple boxes of board games that I need to figure out what I'm gonna go through and keep and donate. So I was up till 11:30 just working on boxes, but everything that needed to be recycled, just from first glances, like my mom's tax returns from early 2000s, recycled. Everything that was trash is in the trash. Everything that I immediately was like, yes, donate, is in the donate. So I probably still have more of that stuff, but everything else I need either like is for the stuff that I wasn't sure on. It was either a maybe or it was yes, I'm keeping it. So I definitely do have still more culling and organizing and going through boxes to do. But that first official run through is done, and that just makes me feel so much better. A lot of the Christmas boxes I'll probably wait until we hit Christmas time, because I found my big tub of Christmas stuff that I had at my old apartment that's been in storage. I have all the Christmas stuff that I have accumulated since I've been here and didn't have access to my storage unit, and now I have all the stuff I kept that was my mom's for Christmas stuff. So it's a lot. It is a lot. So what I'm planning on doing is switching those to like Rubbermaid bins and like the rubber plastic tubs instead of boxes. And then when it comes to the holiday season, maybe pull them out a little bit earlier than Thanksgiving and kind of start going through and seeing what I want to put out, what I want to do with things in that kind of situation. So we will see what happens with all of that. But yeah, I feel a lot better. I did find a couple more boxes of kitchen stuff. So I have a couple more boxes of kitchen stuff in my kitchen now that I'm kind of tripping over, but it's fine. This is like, I'm pretty much done with like stuff like that, like kitchen stuff. So then I can really sit through and go through and be like, do I need all 5 of these casserole dishes? Well, this one super big one I use when it's holiday season, so I can put that one in a bin and stick it in my little storage unit. And then, because if I only use it for holiday times, I'm gonna have like a holiday and like my holiday platters and stuff like that. So it's still kind of in progress. I'm sad that it's taking as long as it is, but I think once I can finally get through it all, things will feel better. But I also was able to I've had my dining room table in the living room, and that is now in the dining room. So then I restacked boxes under and on top of it, so everything you see here is actually sitting on top of my table except for this mess right here. And like my living room feels so much open, but it's also kind of sad because I was constantly sitting at my table to work on stuff, but I haven't done that. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling on a lot longer than I meant to, but I was working on that. So before I got super overwhelmed and got back into it, let me take a drink. I did start the audiobook for Witches Get Stitches. I got quite a bit of the way through. I think I got like 60 or 70-ish%. Then when I was kind of overwhelmed and took a break, and then when I went back because I was still kind of feeling overwhelmed, I switched to listening to Taylor Swift's discography because I knew that would be a good mix of like poppy songs to like keep me motivated, but then a couple of slower songs to, you know, hit the lulls, and I don't know, it just worked out really well. But then today I guess I'm going out of order. But I started this on Saturday and I got through like 60-70% of it. And I'm going out of order. So then that was mostly Saturday, and then I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning because I took a shower, and then I was like, I needed to decompress. I needed to eat something. And then I ended up just having like a protein nutrition thing that I mix in milk. You can use it for smoothies too, but I use it just in milk and drink it. But I had that, and I just kind of laid on the couch, and I put on my TV, and I was gonna read a little bit, and I ended up not reading at all on Saturday. I just kind of played a couple of my games on my iPad, and then I just kind of laid there and stared at the TV because I was just so I was more over like emotionally and mentally exhausted from the day than like physically exhausted, although I was a little sore. But anyway, then today, Sunday morning, today is also the last day of the magical readathon, and when I woke up, I saw that she posted that she was gonna do some like last minute celebration sprints for the end of the magical readathon. So I participated in that. However, I read books for the novellathon. So during sprints, I started and finished The Marquess and I by Stacey Reed. I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. Once again, I talk about this in my novellathon vlog. But yeah, I give it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It made me cry a billion times. But for my other challenges for Gildathon, I use this for Andante, which one of the options is a slow burn, and they don't really get together till like the very end of the novella, so I counted it. For Read This Season, I had to apply this to holiday number 6, and I use this for the letter M for Marquess. And then for the magical readathon, I was able to apply this to one of the other quest options, which is furniture on the cover. So I read that. And then I picked up, I did my spinner wheel and I picked up my paranormal novella for the novellathon, and what won is For I Have Sinned by Dorinda Jones. This is book 1.5 in her Charlie Davidson series. It's been a little bit since I read book 1. I enjoyed this though. I thought it was super interesting. Once again, I talk about this in my novellathon vlog, and I definitely want to read. I need to get back into the Charlie Davidson series for sure. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. And I just realized I didn't apply any of my reading challenges to it. So I will have to talk about that tomorrow once I can sit down and look at my book again. So I will make a note. I need to talk about For I Have Sinned. Oh my gosh. I'm going to make a note. For I Have Sinned. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I forgot that. Okay, so then I started my next novella during the final sprint, but then we had the final sprint, and then I had a little bit of time of when the novellathon final live show was supposed to happen, which it got moved up, and I didn't know this. So I missed the live show. But in between the end of the reading sprints and when I went to watch the live show, I did finish Witches Get Stitches. So I have officially finished book 3. I don't know if I'm gonna reread Walking in a Witching Wonderland because I feel like I'm getting pressed for time, but you know, it's fine. This book is still a 5-star, and I love this book. It's definitely, Nico is so far number 3. I'm trying to keep track of like who is my favorite, and I think Mateo and Alpha are still just kind of edging out Devraj, and then we've got Mateo in like 3rd. So although Devraj is more like 1.5 and then Nico's like 2 so far. I'm trying to not put other people in until I reread their books, but I love it. I mean, I reread it. It's so good. I loved it to pieces. I am a huge fan of how just for Violet Nico is in every moment, and I love him to pieces, and it's always so fun to see him as like the normal werewolf, because let's be honest, Mateo isn't a normal werewolf, and I loved Violet. It was interesting reading it now because I am a lot farther in my tarot journey, and so I was just, when she kept talking about the Tower card, I was like, there's other meanings, Violet, there's other meanings. And then it like came out and she realized the other meanings because she wasn't thinking about him, you know? And then just, you know, the 10 of Cup cards kept popping up, which I call the Happily Ever After card. And, you know, she called it that too. And I was just like, oh, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if I picked it up there. But I know that's a common saying for people, is the 10 of Cups is the Happily Ever After card, or the HEA card. So it was just kind of super fun to, I feel like there wasn't anything tarot wise that stood out as, because even though the way she was interpreting the Tower is still a correct interpretation of the Tower, it just didn't kind of fit the situation, and she wasn't letting her intuition open up to receive the Tower in the way that it was presenting itself, if that makes sense. If not, let me know down below and I can try to explain that better. But anyway, 5 stars. I loved it. As for reading challenges, I'm going to apply this to the Killer Crescent prompt for Romanceopoly. So the genre prompt is thriller books, but the more specific one is read a thriller or a mystery of your choice. Well, this is Romanceopoly. I don't understand the thriller. Like, so I would need, I knew kind of when I saw the board first set up, I only mainly read romance. I very rarely read thrillers in my life. I used to read like Robin Cook, but that was it. I haven't read him since I was like in high school. And I don't really read thrillers anymore. I'm not a horror person. I'm not a thriller person in movies or TV shows either. But I'm going to count this because we have, I mean, it's very stressful and you're very on edge when Violet gets kidnapped by the rogue pack. And everybody's trying to find her. And that is very thrilling for me. So I'm going to count it. And maybe it's being cheesy or sneaking with something or cheating a little bit, but I don't care. It was like, I could probably pick up like a romantic suspense and get the same thing, or a romantic mystery, but I'm not in the mood for that right now. So I'm applying it here. So I have officially finished the next Romanceopoly prompt. However, I'm not going to roll it today because it is super late. So I will roll it tomorrow, either before or after I film my clip. So we'll see. I'll just roll it tomorrow, and then hopefully whatever books I'm picking up after this count. Other reading prompts is Guildathon. I applied this for the musical prompt because Nico is a musician, so it's a pretty big part of the story and a pretty big aspect of his character because that is the artistic way that his werewolf presents, I guess. I don't think that's the right word, but we're gonna go with it. For the Pretty Pretty Princess board game quarterly challenge, I use this for purple on the cover. It's like pretty much just purple. So I have one of the official prompts left, which is fun. And then I'm still planning on doing all the bonus prompts as well. For Read the Season, I had to move this to holiday number 6, and I use this for the letter J for Juliet. And then for the Magical Readathon, I also use this for the quest to cover the thriller prompts. So I was like, we're gonna count it and we're gonna knock off 2 of those thriller prompts with this book. So I finished that today. Then before I finished that, so I picked up my sci-fi novella. Instead of doing the spinner wheel, I just decided to pick up Releasing Maledek. So I picked this up during the final reading sprints, and then I finished Wolf Gone Wild, or Witches Get Stitches. And then I plan to pick this up. I did not get very far, as you can tell, but I do plan on reading this more tonight, even though it's midnight now. But I do want to read more in this tonight. The Novellathon technically ends tomorrow, so I think even if I just finish this tomorrow, that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. But I'm hoping I can get through this tonight. I feel like it should be a pretty quick read. I'm definitely through the setup stuff, so once again, check out my reading blog for more in-depth information about this. But this is book 5.5 in Victoria Avaleen's Cloclanian series. So there is that. And that's it for books. So let's do the quest calendar, and then I can kind of get to my last minute nighttime stuff, like setting the coffee pot in the morning and things like that. So if this is my first weekly vlog you're seeing, I have been playing the quest calendar created by Sundial Games. It is a daily calendar with Saturdays and Sundays combined, and it is basically a tabletop role-playing game. It's based off of that system, a D20 system, so think Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, D20 Modern, anything like that. This theme for 2023 is the Voidspark Chronicles, which is sci-fi space opera based, so think Star Wars, Star Trek, Firefly, Battlestar Galactica, you get the gist. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. Sundial Games is always linked down below. I do get the like deluxe version or whatever that comes with the Hero Companion book. If you end up getting the quest calendar, I highly recommend it. Especially if you plan on playing with one of their created characters for you instead of making your own. It has all of the basic level up stuff for all of the like 6 character options. What's new for the 2023 is it's now in landscape, and it has reusable stickers, and then there is a marker and stuff that you can use that is like erasable. And so here's who we have been playing as. Zarilla Tur. She is an Urzen Mystic. So Urzen is her race, and her class is a Mystic. So she's the kind of like force user character. Alrighty. So let's talk about... So here is what the looks like. Here is where we ended up Friday. So every day you will see some sort of like script type font. That is the story that we will read out. Then there will be, it's kind of hard to see. It's blended in really well here, but there'll be like a block style font, usually in a box. And that will be the mechanics of how we're playing through that day's story. And then if there's combat, there'll be like a table that's like in an opaque box that tells you how many rounds, how many creatures, that sort of thing. But this is just a normal page. And all of the information for that day's page is on the back of the previous day page. So you can't really spoil it yourself, which is nice. So let's just get into it. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so we were just in a town and it was attacked by like the bad guys who are called Stitchers. And I just realized my mom's like blow mold Snoopy is like perfectly positioned with his head over the couch. That's cute. Okay. Anyway, so here we are, but we were just attacked by Stitchers who are like the bad guys of the universe. So I'm guessing that we're like doing cleanup kind of stuff. So you stop in the city of Emanara before leaving the planet. The scene is grim. Smoke fills your nostrils. The crackle of fire and rumble of collapsing buildings can be heard alongside the screams of terror from those who survived. Ooh, okay. So number 1, search for survivors. This is a wisdom roll, and we get to use the investigator and survivalist skills. And then number 2 is look for salvageable loot, which is an intellect roll reminder investigator. So let's just get into it. So our wisdom is a +4, and we do have survivalist, but we do not have investigator. So we get a +2 for survivalist, and then our +4 on our normal, so we get +6 to our d20 roll. Okay, if you have rescued citizen noted down from an earlier page, gain a +3 bonus on this roll. We do. Okay, so +9. Heck yeah. And I rolled a 9, so that's good. So 18 total. Okay, if your result is 16 or more, you free several trapped survivors who narrowly escaped the city's destruction with their lives. One of them thanks you and insists on giving you all of his credits for saving him and his son. Aww. Gain 3 credits. Cool, so we will get that added. All right, and then look for salvageable loot. So our intellect is a 1. And we don't have investigator, so we just get a +1 to what we roll, and that is a 16, so 17 total. Okay, so if your result is between 12 and 17, you find several items that should fetch a fair price on the market, as well as some loose credits around. Gain 2 credits. I'm not... The highest result is 18 or more, and I'm not going to chance it because we'd need to roll a 17 or higher. So I think I'm going to leave it as it is. Now, the other thing that we have that we can do today is a new mechanic for 2023 is what they called the Sunday Lottery, which is in this box right here. And what it is when you play your weekend page, you get a chance to roll a d6. it's optional. If you roll a 1 or a 2, you lose a little bit of credits, but if you roll a 3 or higher, you gain some credits. So far we have not lost any credits, and I feel like I should knock on wood because this could be the time. Never mind, it's a 6. Okay. So we also gain 4 credits from our Sunday lottery. So there's that. That is all I have for you today. A long clip, but hey, we're just at half an hour, which is great for me, especially for how much I had to talk to you about. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to finish up my last minute things, and then I'm probably going to read for a little bit and go to bed. But thank you so much for watching this. I hope you have a great Monday, and I will be back tomorrow to let you know what happens and what I read. Hello, happy Monday. Happy May Day. It's officially May 1st. So yeah, it is midnight and I'm still awake. But I wanted to film my clip really quick. I was working on some editing and I had a book that I wanted to get done. So lots of things have been going on. I also did another 3.5 loads of laundry of stuff from the storage unit, which is great. So I'm just going to try to chip away a little bit at a night. My only goal was to do 2 loads of laundry, but I ended up with 3. So I was like, hey, perfect. Or 3.5 technically. So, let's talk about a couple things. One thing is yesterday's clip I mentioned for I Have Sinned. I read it this weekend, but I didn't apply it to any of my challenges. I totally spaced that I read this book when I sat down to get everything in my notebook. So we're going to go over that really quickly. For Gildathon, I use this for Rising Phoenix, which is a book with a character who goes through a rebirth or a transition. For Read the Season, I applied this to holiday number 5 to cover the letter D for Dorinda. And then for the Magical Readathon, I use this for an extra class, which is Restoration, which is choose a book at random. And since I use this for a spinner wheel, I'm going to count it. Technically, the prompt is shuffle and point, but it's still random. So I think the same idea of the prompt is covered. So I'm counting it there, and it doesn't give me any extra points. It just says, hey, I took this extra class, which is funny because it's one of the classes I had to take anyway for my characters. I totally just forgot. It's not their class, but to become a mood warden, it's the classes that I take. So I already had to take Restoration, so I ended up taking Restoration twice. So anyway, there's that. Then, before we get talking about something else, this was posted after I did my May TBR, but what is her name? I always forget how to pronounce it. I'm guessing it's Keshia. She is 808 Book DR on Instagram. I will link her down below. I joined her April readathon, the Fantasy-a-thon. If you didn't see that, I will pop that up above, but it's over now. But it was just a really cute little readathon geared at reading fantasy, but specifically fantasy with sea creature based. I didn't really stick to the sea creature, but I applied mostly fantasy books to that bingo board. But anyway, she announced that people were asking if she wanted to do another one for May, so she has created another bingo board for May. So we're gonna go over that real quick since she posted it the day after I posted my TBR, so it was still a few days after I filmed it. But anyway, here is the bingo board she created. The rules have switched up a little bit this time, where you can only apply 1 book to a prompt. But once again, it's only 9 prompts, so I feel like it's easy to hit for a lot of the readers, at least that I am around. So here are the prompts. In the Instagram post, caption explains what each of these are, but I'll also go through them because I made notes as well. So we start with Plumeria. Oh, the title of it is May Day is Lay Day in Hawaii. Nay? Or Hawaii, I think is how I heard. I keep getting Visit Hawaii commercials on my Travel Channel app, which is funny. So I keep like every time he's like Hawaii. I don't know if I'm even saying it right, but I'll stick with Hawaii. So this runs the whole month of May, 1st through the 31st. So these are all like flower and lay and just kind of Hawaii based prompts, which is super fun. So we start with Plumeria, which is yellow, pink, or a white cover. And then Puakanekeni, which is a book with a plot twist. I did do like a Hawaiian / Lilo and Stitch musical when I was in middle school, so we learned a little bit of Hawaiian pronunciation, but I feel like it's left my brain a lot. But I do know a lot of Asian pronunciation, so hopefully I'm better than I think I am. But anyway, we'll keep moving. So the third one is Pikake, which is her favorite scent, is what she said. So this will be a book that's featured on her Instagram feed, of which there are a lot of options. And then Male, which is a book that has a ceremony or a celebration. Purple Orchid, read a popular book. Money, which is a book you recently bought. Butterfly, a pretty book. Kukui Nut, a book you would take on vacation. And then Tea Leaf, a diverse or minority rep book. So those are the 9 prompts. I feel like they're all pretty easy to hit. And she reads a lot of fantasy, so her feed has a lot of fantasy. She has some contemporary. She has not only romance, but she has a lot of romance on there. So I feel like it'd be pretty easy to find a book. There is a lot, but I wrote down 6 that were already on my TBR, my miles long want to read list on Goodreads. So I have some options, which is nice. But anyway, so I wanted to go over that because I did finish a book today and I did apply it to that readathon. So today, after doing some chores and some stuff, I did finish releasing Maladex. So once again, I am reading this for the novellathon. Today is the last day of that. So I'm going to keep all of my thoughts to that vlog. So check it out, like I said. But I gave it 5 stars. It was just so much fun. Does the 5 stars I give this weigh as much as the 5 stars have given other books in the series? No. But for a novella, this is 5 stars. So I just want to throw that out there, but I had a lot of fun with it. As for reading challenges, I applied this to for Gildathon. I used Through Fire and Flames, which is read a book from a series you love and want to continue. For the Pretty Pretty Princess board game quarterly challenge, I applied this to one of my bonus prompts for the letter A because Victoria Aveline, so her last name. For Read the Season, I applied this to Holiday 3, also covering the letter A. And then for the May Day is Lay Day readathon, I applied this to Money, which is a book that you've recently bought. And then, surprisingly enough, I totally forgot to mention this in my TBR for the month as well, but the 2023 Adventure in Aldea is a part of the magical readathon in general. But what it is you have 1 prompt a month, and then April you have the spring equinox readathon. August will have the autumn equinox readathon, but then every other month you just have 1 prompt to like adventure throughout the year and still get like quest points for your character and stuff. And my option, I chose to, I think it was Stay in the Library. I don't remember what like the title of it was, but my option was, or the specific prompt was, read a book that ends on an even number, and this has 226 pages. So it was perfect. The first book I read in May, got that crossed off my list, which is great. And yeah, so that's super exciting. So loved it. I highly recommend Victoria Aveline if you haven't picked her up. I think she writes great sci-fi romances, and this was super fun because we got to be with an alien we haven't seen the hero is a race of alien we haven't had as a hero yet. So that was super fun. But anyway, like I said, check out my Novellathon vlog to see my thoughts on that. Now, I do want to pick up something a little bit before I go to bed, or in bed. I want to read for a little bit just to kind of wind down from today. And here's my dilemma. I really, really, really want to read Grim and Barrett. And I was going to reread Always Practice Safe Hex and Resting Witch Face before the Mafia Romance Readathon starts later this week. And then after that ends, read Grim and Barrett, and then jump into whatever else I have going on in the month. However, I kind of want to read it now. So, here's my thing. I like Always Practice Safe Hex. I gave it 5 stars. But in my ranking of the series, it is in the lower. It is in the bottom half of the series. It is not my favorite. I just don't connect with Livy as much. And yeah, and that's mainly it. I don't connect with Livy as much as a heroine, but I thought it was still super well written and super well done, and I gave it 5 stars, and I loved it anyways. It just wasn't quite as emotionally connective to me as some of the other previous books. So what I might do, what I was thinking is tonight, I want to reread the grim parts that happen kind of near the end, I think, especially with pertaining to Henry. And then I'll do my reread of Resting Witch Face. And then, if I give myself Resting Witch Face to read like tomorrow and the 3rd, and then on the 3rd I can start Grim and Barrett, and then I can finish it on the 4th, and then the 4th is when the Mafia Romance Readathon starts. So then I'll jump from Grim and Barrett into Mafia, which I don't know if my brain's gonna be okay with that, but I don't want to keep putting it off, and I want to get to it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I wanted to reread all of it, but I think I'm just gonna reread the grim parts, and I won't count it for any of my reading stuff. I just want to reread the grim parts and like kind of refresh myself with what was going on. I'll probably also read my review as well when I was writing full reviews, which I'd like to get back into, but there's just too much going on that I haven't had time to sit down and write full reviews lately for every book I read. So I think that's going to be the plan. So I'm going to reread the grim parts, and then I'm going to jump into Resting Witch Face. And I'm going to give myself to 1 o'clock to read. So there is that. Now let's do the quest calendar real quick, and then I want to get my Romanceopoly board set up and do the rules for that. So yesterday we were exploring kind of the ruins of the city and trying to assist people where we could. So let's see if we're still in the city or if we're moving on. Oh, okay. It looks like we have the chance to add to our crew. Those are cool. This one looks like kind of like a chicken. Like a humanoid chicken. Although it's got kind of like angel wings, not bird wings. Interesting. Okay. So some citizens of Emanara have been displaced from the Stitcher invasion, approach you with an offer. With no place to go, they'd like to offer their services in hopes of finding revenge. They could serve as valuable crew members with their skills. Hire any that you can afford. Cool. Okay, so the bird person is a detective. They cost 25 credits. They will add +1 to integrity and investigator, which we have had that option pop up a lot. And then the telepath is also 25 credits, +1 to integrity, and he has arcane adept. And we have that, and I know that they stack, but I think I'd rather leave that space open for a different crew member who can give us a skill that we don't already have. So I'm just going to take the detective bird alien here and get them added to the character sheet. So that was a super easy one. I'm glad. I like it when I'm just like, there's a lot going on. I don't want to spend forever on the quest calendar, and then we get an easy one. So let me pull them from the reusable stickers. All right, so I got our little detective guy. It's upside down, but let's see where we want to put our little chicken alien here. So what we have open is the engine rooms, the weapons rooms, and the crew quarters. So the other three are taken by other crew members, as you can see here. So he's an investigator. I'm going to put him in the crew quarters. I think that sounds fun. So we're going to put him in the crew quarters, and that will raise our integrity by 1 in the crew quarters, which is great. So there he is. We've hired our little chicken alien dude. The detective. I feel like I should give all these people names, but anyway, I will get my credits deducted of 25. And then I will set up the Romanceopoly board. So I will be right back and we will do my next roll. And if we're lucky, what I roll will work for releasing Maladek, and then we can do a secondary roll. And if it works for Rusting Witchface, then I'll probably do another one. But we'll see what happens. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I got everything set up. Ignore my craft stuff I have sitting around here. So let's just get into it. I've got my little kitty over here on Killer Crescent, which is what our last prompt was. So let's, oh gosh, move forward. That is a 2 and a 6. So 8 total. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Courtship Row. Okay, so let me just check my book here. Courtship Row. Okay, so we've already done Courtship Row, so we will re-roll and keep going. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so past Eves. Let's see. Okay, we have not done that. Okay. So, past Eves. So, this is generic genre is historical, and the more specific prompt is read the historical romance that's been on your TBR the longest. If you don't have any, read any historical romance. Well, I have lots of historical romance on my TBR. Now, I'm trying to think. I can either go to my Goodreads and see which one I've added as want to read on my Goodreads the longest, or if I go off of my official TBR, it will be either of these two, because these I have mentioned in the past several videos, as well as the Stacy Reed one, but I think I had these on my TBR before the Stacy Reed one came out. So one of these two, which I'm hoping to read this month anyway. So I think the next time, I think I'm leaning towards the Vivian the Rhett one. So I think I will use this for the Vivian the Rhett one, and I'll probably won't pick this up until after the Mafia Romance Readathon, but this will be the prompt that I use for this. So alrighty, I think that's all we've got here. I'm going to stick this in here just so I remember I'm going to use it for that. And that's all I have. So I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a great Tuesday. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Hello. Happy Sunday. I did it again. I have not filmed a clip for a while. I kept meaning to, but then things just, I don't know. I haven't been sleeping as good lately, and I've been either unable to sleep and up late or like falling asleep at like 9 o'clock. So I don't know what's going on, but I did some stuff this weekend and I'm going to try to like reset my sleep schedule. And I got a new thing that you can do where it's like an hour before you go to bed, you want to do this little thing, and it's like breathing exercises and like meditation stuff. And to see, and then I can like go to bed and just read till I'm sleepy, because I find that if when I'm sleepy, if I go to bed and I read in bed, I'll fall asleep reading, but then I won't be like on the couch, which happened to me this week. And then I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, still on the couch, and that's just not good. That's not good. So things have been going on. So we have things to update. As for the week, I don't even really remember what happened during the week. I feel like it's been forever since I've last updated you, but maybe not. Let me look at my planner because I have it sitting here. You know what? It's been since Monday. It's been since Monday. So yeah. Reading wise, I ended up starting, I don't know if it was Monday or if I ended up starting it Tuesday. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry about that. I have things written down of a way to go in order. So let's do the quest calendar first. Catch up on the quest calendar. We have 4 days to do. So where I left you on Monday was we were able to get a couple like refugee people to add to our place, and we took the like weird bird alien. So let's see what else we've got. Okay, so it looks like we're dealing with those scientists again, and I'm guessing we're gonna go on a rescue mission. So with no clear destination ahead, you approach Dr. Latimer and Dr. Serpent in hope of discovering more about why the Zorian Empire would have kidnapped Andy. So we have 3 options. A, threaten the scientists for information. B, request vital information from the scientists. Oh, the C is for charisma. So there's just 2 options. I'm going to go with option B. We're not going to threaten them. So that is a charisma roll, reminder, persuasive. So okay. I have stuff all over the place. So okay, so it looks like no matter what roll we do, the result is going to be the same depending on what you roll. So that's good. I still don't like the idea of threatening them, even though it'd be a better roll for us-ish. Okay, so our charisma is a -2. So that's what we got. You don't have persuasive. And that is an 18, so I'm okay with that. That gives us a 16. Okay, and we needed a 15 or more for the highest thing, so perfect. All right, before the attack, we were chatting and catching up on everything that has happened since we last saw each other. It was good to see her living a normal life. We were finishing setting up a dinner for everyone when we heard alarms and an explosion. Dr. Serpent got knocked unconscious. There was smoke and blaster fire everywhere. I couldn't see what was going on. I just saw some Zorian soldiers take Andy. We worked with her in a Zorian lab many years ago. Andy was the subject of an unethical experiment that we were involved in. She was being held prisoner and we were lied to. When the lab was targeted by the rebellion, I took the opportunity to help her escape. Not many people lived through that, and until now, I wasn't sure she did either. She may still hold valuable secrets for the Empire. I think we were all surprised there were remnants of the Empire still around. The Zorian lab we were working in was destroyed, but there may be answers there. Maybe we should head there next. So okay, so those events were what we played in the prologue at the beginning of the year. How cool that the prologue is linking into the story that we did. I feel like last year's, the prologue kind of led to what was happening. And then we like, because the events of last year's calendar started at this festival when we started playing our own character. But the prologue was people who were traveling to the festival who were like vendor type people. But this, I feel like, is more integrated, and that's super cool. Okay, so that was Tuesday. So those are the scientists we were talking to. Okay, so, all right, it looks like Wednesday was us actually traveling there because we are back in the cockpit. Dr. Serpent says this lab is in the Thilmone system. We will head to Nick's station and search from there. So A, fly with manual controls, which is a dexterity roll, or B, rely on a charted course, which is a wisdom roll. Both allow for the piloting skill, which we do not have. And then once again, it does not matter. So dexterity or wisdom, and they are both a +4. So it really doesn't matter which option we choose for the situation. So we just get a +4. And that is a 12. So 16 total. Okay. If the result is 15 or more, you navigate the Karnak precisely and pilot quickly to your destination. Your efficiency in traveling allows you to save on fuel. Gain 1 credit. You must consume 1 meal ration during the journey. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note here. Okay, so there is that. So that was quick and easy. Love it. I love that these are quick and easy so far. So that was Wednesday. So let's see what Thursday brought. Uh-oh. It looks like Andy's son snuck in. Naughty little boy. Okay, a proximity sensor alerts you to a disturbance in the cargo hold. You head down there with caution to check it out. 1, quietly sneak through and investigate the cargo hold. 2, open the suspicious container. I mean, the artwork kind of gives it away. So, intellect, reminder, stealthy. That's interesting. That's an intellect roll. I guess we're investigating. We're just sneaking and investigating, I guess. So, we do not have stealthy, surprisingly. I just realized we have the student skill. I don't think I have been using that this entire time. Oh my gosh. I need to read better. Okay, so we do not have stealthy. And our intellect is a +1. So let's see what we rolled. That is an 11, so 12. Let's see what happens. Okay, if the result is 11 or more, you move slowly and quietly. You hear a noise again from a container on the port side of the room. Whatever is here in the room is not aware of your presence. Okay, so opening the suspicious container, dexterity, reminder, locksmith. So our dexterity, once again, is a +4. We do not have locksmith. Upon finding a container you were unaware of seeing on the ship before, you try to open it. And that is a 17, so 21. If the result is 11 or more, you bypass the lock on the container and it opens quickly. Perfect. So number 3, deal with the stowaway. You are surprised to find Maddox has snuck onto the ship. Don't throw me off the ship, please. They took my mom and I want to see that I get her back. My home was destroyed and I've got nowhere else to go. I can do some chores and help find my mom. It is too late to take him back now. Decide what to do with Maddox. Put him in the brig or give him a bunk. We're going to give him a bunk. We're not going to put him in the brig. My goodness. So the boy went through a lot and has no one to look after him. You can spare him the room and perhaps he can be useful. Gain 1 virtue, but we're already at our max of +10, so we're still a good character. I'm okay with that. So there is Thursday. So there's Maddox hiding in his little container. So let's see what the last day, Friday, brought. Okay, it looks like we arrived at Nick's. That's really pretty. It reminds me of Star Wars when you go to I can't remember the name of the world, but the place where like the really skinny white aliens make all the clones, and it's like over ocean water and rainy, and that's what it reminds me of. Because we can see like the ocean water here. Okay, so Nayli flies the Karnak into the city and docks at the port. The plan is to be here long enough to gather some information, scout the area nearby, and take some scans. So explore the city on Nick's station. Okay. You make your way to the central atrium, which serves as a sort of shopping mall. Storefronts line the tall and open market tower, forming a sort of vertical shopping mall connected by a series of elevators. So wandering the atrium. You meander through the atrium while looking at the sights and people. Someone bumps into you and then runs off quickly. Suspecting they stole your money, you give chase. Roll a Constitution reminder athlete. Okay, our Constitution is a +1. And we do have athlete, so we get a +3. And that is a 17, so 20. If the result is 11 or more, you catch up to them and get your money back. Okay. Then we have Marco's Medical Stop Kiosk. A medical kiosk offers self-diagnosis and treatment packages for a small fee. This has med kits and antidotes. We still have a couple med kits and antidotes, so I'm going to move on. Sydney's Supreme Supplements. A storefront displaying holographic pills and drugs draws your attention. It looks like they offer some quality wares. So there's Strengthener RX, which adds a D4 to strength. Adrenaline RX adds to dexterity. Fortifier adds to constitution. Stimulant adds to intellect. Intulsense adds to wisdom. Or intuisance? Intuisance? And relaxant adds to charisma. I don't think we need any of those. I've never used that stuff in the previous games that we've played of this, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, and then Tardame Plaza. Various market stalls host aliens making food, both synthesized and traditionally cooked. Okay. Meal rations are 1 credit here. And we just used one, so you know what? I'm going to buy a couple more just so we have in stock. They are 1 credit each, so I will make note on that. I'll buy 3 because we're at 4, so that'll get us to 7. And then we gained a credit, so I'll only have to take 2 credits off because of what we gained earlier. So, a marsupial with a hooded cloak on offers you a sample of his roasted carnadon skewer. If you accept the sample, roll a Constitution reminder danger sense. Sure. We'll try this. We'll try the sample. I mean, it makes me nervous that there's danger sense, but okay. So, our Constitution is +1. We do have danger sense. So, we have a +3. And that is a 17, so 20 once again. If the result is 15 or more, the skewer has some of the most delicious meat you've ever eaten. You feel rejuvenated after eating it. You thank the alien and continue on your way. Increase your health by 1? Does that mean like forever? Or like you gained a hit point back? I'm guessing because the other options is nothing happens or reduce your health by 1. I'm guessing it just heals a point of damage, but we don't have any damage. So it was just a really delicious meal. Okay, so that's it for the quest calendar. Okay, as for books, I feel like I started this Tuesday night. I did start Resting Witch Face finally. For my reread of the Stay Spell series. This is the final book I have to reread because I did cut out 2. I did not reread Always Practice Safe Hex, and I did not reread Walking in a Witchy Wonderland, although that one was always kind of maybe we'll reread it. But it's still 5 stars. I love this book. This is probably in my top 3 so far. It's kind of tied with Don't Hex and Drive for me. Yeah. So I loved it. I totally forgot that the book starts with Devraj and Isidora's wedding. I was just like, how did I completely space that? Because I feel like a lot of it I remembered was like the Renaissance Fair and the masquerade, them traveling, and like the different meetings they go to, but I totally forgot. We saw the wedding in the beginning of this book, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened in this book. But I mean, I loved it. It was just, I just loved it. I don't know what else to say outside of I just loved it. And Ruben and Jules, and this is one of the second chances that I can get behind. I mentioned this before when I first read this, but I know Juliet herself is not a fan of second chances, so I trusted going in the first time I read this that she would make it make sense, because I know that's an issue for her. And I just can't, I love them to pieces, and I'm sad that it's almost over. But as for what challenges I was able to apply this to, for Gildathon, I was able to use this for the ongoing series prompt, because this is the last published book in the series, because technically Grim and Barrett has not been published yet. So I got 10 points for this one instead of the 5 for normal prompt. For the Pretty Pretty Princess board game quarterly challenge, I use this for my bonus word, just for extra prompts for the letter R. For Read the Season, I applied this to holiday number 3, also for the letter R. And then for my May Day is Lay Day May bingo challenge, I use this for Melee, which has a ceremony or celebration, which I just mentioned. Devraj and Isadora's wedding is in the beginning of this. So there is that. Now, as for other books that I read on Thursday, I did start Bloodied Hands by Adelaide Forrest. This is the first book in her Belandi Crime Syndicate series. I started the audiobook for this because Thursday was the start of the Mafia Romance Readathon. I'm not going to say too much about it outside that I am vlogging it, so check out my vlog. I will link it up above. But yeah, that's it. I am very sorry that, not that it really matters to you because it's one video, so it's just more effort for me because I can't get things edited as quick because I just never filmed anything. But editing will also go faster because I only have like 2 or 3 clips to do this time instead of like 6 or 7. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me through all this. And if you'd like to leave me an emoji, leave me something orange in honor for Resting Witch Face. And if you'd like to leave a comment, I don't know, leave me whatever you want to tell me, I guess. I am drawing a blank and I didn't think about it beforehand. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon with another video.